Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, depending what time you're watching this next episode of my tutorial series. So we're not going to build a house today. Oh no, not a modern one, not even a wooden cottagey thing. We are not building houses. We are going to build something far more awesome than that. And oh my goodness, I hope this goes right, because this is something that I've not really got any experience of building. It should be really, really, really fun. So should we have a look at what it is we're going to build? Yeah, okay, let's look at it right now. And this is what we have made, and it is brilliant. We're not going to walk around it to show you. Oh no, we're going to ride it, because that's what you do with roller coasters. So we are going to have a little ride, and the first thing you've got to do is get your roller coaster cart thing, and it goes down there. You press this button, pump, out comes a minecart, and you snap it on there, sit in it, and go. And now we're going along. In fact, I'm going to do it this way. Yay, and we're going this way, and we're going up and up and up and up. Now this is going to be a two-part video. Are you ready? Are you ready? Down we go. It's really ready. And it's a two-part video because there was quite a lot of building in this one. It was too much for one video, so we started in two parts because I figured you don't really want to be watching a video that's 40 minutes long. That just wouldn't work, would it? So we're going to do a two-part video to make this particular build, which is absolutely brilliant. You don't have to do it block by block. It's not a block by block build necessarily. Oh, we're falling! It's not a block by block build necessarily, but if you want to, you can. The thing about roller coasters is they're a very personal thing, and not everybody likes them the same way. So let me just get out. Hang on a minute. And there it is. That was brilliant. Right, now, let's go and make it now. Well, I said it was a little bit different and hopefully a little bit fun. If you are looking forward to this tutorial, make sure you slap that like button square in the mush, because I don't know if you've liked the video unless you slap the like button. And make sure if you subscribe, hit that notifications. There's a little video there, tells you how to do notifications. Make sure you follow it, and let's get on with the build. For this build, we're almost going to make it up as we go along, but the basics are going to include some oak wood planks, some dark oak fence to give that contrast, redstone stuffs. Obviously we need some rails, detectors, powered, and some standard rails. We need some oak wood itself. Clearly we're going to need minecart, come on. We're going to need sticky pistons, some birchwood planks, we'll see what that's for later, dispensers, some stairs of different types, some slabs, buttons, trapdoors, blocks of redstone which might get used, and some coloured clays that we're going to use for building, some quartz just because it's got a nice white colour, and some bits and pieces for lighting. And I'm probably going to use a lot of other stuff, so keep watching. If at any point you lose what's happening, pause the video and catch up. I'm very happy for you to do that, or rewind it a bit. That is all good. Just make sure you keep up. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's crack on with it. Well, I already mentioned that this wasn't a block by block tutorial, but I will go through some fairly basic methods that are going to make sure that you don't clatter into a piece of wood, which is never good. You'll notice we're going 4 along, then at the end of that 4 we're going across another 4, at the end of that 4 we're going up and across another 4, and we continue to do that for as high as you want the roller coaster to climb. And when you get to the top, you start your descent, and literally you want to come out a couple just to make sure you don't clip the end of your frame that you've already gone through, and step down. The first drop, if you think on a roller coaster, the first drop is always a nice steep drop, and the steepest you can make it, apart from a complete free fall in Minecraft, is a step, one across, one down, one across, one down. Make it nice and long, and you'll find that you get a really good drop on that particular bend. And then make a bit of a strip. I'm not doing this block by block, so you pretty much do this the way you want to do it. Make it your own. Turn the turns wherever you'd like to turn them. Make it go up a bit, make it go down a bit. But what's really key is whenever you've got a bit of a straight, make sure you've got some space, like an open space that's not a step. Because if you have just up and down, up and down, up and down with no straight bits, you're not going to have any gaps to put the power rails on, and that's really important. We don't know yet where the power rails are going to go, because we don't know how far the minecart's going to get under momentum, how far the minecart's going to get coming down the slope and across. It's a little bit unknown because you need to do some testing when you're making your Minecraft roller coaster. All I'm doing is I'm going up and down, making sure that I'm looping across the previous track as well. It makes it more interesting and exciting. You imagine if you're looping across a track, it's going to be better for you to do that. And now we kind of want to make it a little bit more tidy. We're going to support the frame of this roller coaster, not with solid blocks, but with the way you would expect a roller coaster to look, with the fences. Fences are going to be the support for this roller coaster eventually. So let's take out the extra little blocks that come into the corners and pop them away. We don't want them. They're going to be supported by fences. It's going to look far more effective, far less blocky, because you don't want a roller coaster to look blocky if you do it that way. what I thought I would try and do is make it go under the ground just a little bit. But for it to go under the ground, we need a target area for it to basically to hit. And I want to outline that in some nice bright colours, because the bright colours are going to mean it's going to look just a little bit more exciting when you're jumping into the ground. And also if we put some light around that at the same time, that's going to look good at night time in the same way as the day, and it's going to be really exciting, like you're going into a warpy tunnel as you go under the ground. It just make it for a little bit more fun on the roller coaster. Then we're going to dig under the ground just for a little bit before we pop up again in the same kind of slope as we did when we went underneath it, because we're obviously going to need to power this in some way, and we can't make it too slopey going upwards, and you don't need to go too far under the ground either. We're going to build around that, so it's not just going to look like a dip and then up again. We're going to build around it to make it more structural, probably in the next episode by the time we get to it. And then this roller coaster is continuing up and out around the corner. You'll notice I do keep to a very strict 2 or 3 blocks at least to be able to go put some power rails on it a little bit later. Then we're going up and up and up again. This bit's great. We have decided to put a target, so that bit is directly underneath the top platform of the last climb, and we're going to have to surround that again with the same kind of structure, the same colours and lights that we put in the previous one, because we want some consistency within this particular build. And we're going to put that down 2 deep once we eventually get all of those lights in. And this is going to be the free fall part, and this bit takes a bit of practice. You've got to make sure that you get it just right, or the free fall will just clatter into oblivion and you'll die. And then make sure when you come out of the free fall bit, you've got a little bit of straight that you can put some power on again before you put just a nice little gentle slope, perhaps to give these people a bit of a breather. They've just had a free fall from very, very high. They don't want to get too excited. Then draw the track around in the shape that you want to make it. Maybe some of these bits we could incorporate some detector rails and some exciting opening doors and things like that, or maybe we just want to make it the end of the roller coaster so as the people have a nice gentle finish to their ride. And I think that's probably the best thing to do after a dead drop. And then we're going to close it off with the start and finish section. And in this section here we are going to create the bit where the queue is. So we need a platform, and we're doing this out of some lighter wood. So I'm using birch wood here because it contrasts really nicely with the oak. And with this birch wood we're making a platform that wraps around this particular area of the track. People are going to get on, they're going to get off on this particular area, and we want it 3, maybe 4, depending on how deep you want your queue to be. I've decided to go 4 on each side. And then we can build the enclosure all around it, and the enclosure is very, very simple, kind of lean-to, just a canopy type structure. We're going 4 up with the wood, and we're using actual oak wood here rather than wood because it just looks a little bit better in my personal opinion. And then we're going to make it a little bit colourful, so I'm using this green stained clay because we want it to be attractive. We want people to see this from a long way away. This is a theme park roller coaster, for goodness sake. People need to want to see this roller coaster and think, oh my goodness, this is absolutely awesome, I want to get there. So to contrast with the green, we're using a complementary colour. That's orange. So if you use blue, yellow would be a good complementary colour. So think about complementary colours and where you're putting these on your particular enclosure. And we're going to create the roof with these colours. I like orange and green simply because it just looks really bright. Doesn't contrast too much against the grass, but just enough. Inside, we want to lighten it up. There will be dark enough inside here for mobs to spawn, and the last thing you want when you are queuing for a roller coaster is for a skeleton to jump out and shoot an arrow up your bum. That's not what you want. It's not comfortable. Let's create the queuing system now, and to just create an open queuing system we're going to use some fencing, some iron bar fencing here, just to kind of direct people in and out. This is the out section, so people can get out of the roller coaster on that side, and they need a step to come down in. So the step comes down there. I've used a different colour oak, so it's very similar to the bark of the oak blocks that we've created the struts for. And then we've got the entrance. Now the entrance is obviously much bigger. People are going to want to be queuing to get onto the roller coaster, so we're fencing all the way around the edge of our birch platform. And I think that looks really, really quite cool. And then we need to make sure that we've got plenty of fencing around so people don't walk onto the track, because that would be very, very dangerous, and we don't want that at all. So we've got the fencing up, and we leave a nice, at least 2 or 3, I personally went for 2, gap for people to get onto the roller coaster. And there we have it. That's the end of this particular part. I hope you enjoyed it. You can see how the structure is starting to come together. In part 2, we're going to put the rails and the landscaping, and we're going to make it look awesome. Don't miss it. It'll be out next week. See you later. Take it easy now. Bye.